Morning, guys. Another major fear we have to control, master, or overcome is the fear of ill health. And this one is a challenging one each and every day for us because there are so many things that can happen. There are so many illnesses, things that happen to us that we don't expect. And we have to overcome this fear because we don't realize it, but our mind, our thoughts, that energy will affect the physical aspect of ourselves in every process the body has. So one thing that's helped me, I hope it helps you, is the idea that of Napoleon Hill, who said simply, if you think you're sick, you are sick. Over time, your body, your brain will get your body to produce those physical manifestations. So you got to think of yourself in a way where you're not afraid to get sick. You are healthy, you're happy, you are free, and it will help to also heal your body. Have a great day, everyone.
Be all in. And that was one of Kobe's favorite words when it related to winning. He says, you have to be obsessed with whatever your win is. And everybody looks at that word obsessed as a bad word. But look at this. If you weren't obsessed, would you have the guests that you have? Listen, how many people do you know? You just did an interview recently with, was it Tony?
Tony.
And
Tony Robbins, Russell Brand, yeah.
All right. Well, if people want to hear what they have to say, you have to be obsessed in order to get that information for the people that aren't obsessed.
Absolutely. Otherwise, they wouldn't bring the information to me.
Right. So they should be thankful that, man, you know what? We're really, really thankful that Lewis is obsessed at doing what he's doing because it brings us enjoyment. It allows us not to be obsessed in that area, and we can be obsessed in some other area.
Absolutely. Yeah.
What stops us from chasing our obsession is the judgment that it's wrong. We feel that it's wrong to pour so much time and energy and effort into something, especially if it's not working out and paying dividends and results. It's, yes, the people around us telling us that, what are you doing? That's crazy. Stop doing it. But it's also us. It's our own voice in our own head saying, can I do this? Am I wasting my time? Is this thing even worth doing? And then what ends up happening is you regret not taking the action, right? We don't regret the things that we do often. It's usually the things that we don't do, the actions untook, the goals that you had that you were too afraid to do something on, and that obsession that we felt was wrong. Think of this in my life. I used to judge myself a lot on this, and I would get obsessed. Like, one of the things that I think now is a core strength of mine is I get obsessed on something, and then it has to happen. I was at an event, and it was a YouTube event, and there was a really, really big famous guy, runs a bunch of events, pretty well known, and I was on him for, you got to start a YouTube channel, dude, you got to start a YouTube channel. And I was just on him. Fast forward to today, is about 3 years ago, he's got a YouTube channel, he's got 6 figures in subscribers, and he's on my mind because I was texting him some thumbnail ideas this morning. And I was on him. I couldn't let it go. Like, this has to happen. You need to do this. And it just felt right. And that energy and that conviction is one of the things that help move the needle. And you've got ideas and energy and great things in you, and products you want to create, and services you want to launch, and people that you want to serve and help, and trust it and listen to it. The thing that's in your heart that is this little, it's a muscle to develop the courage to follow the obsession, because a lot of our brain takes over and tells us to be safe and be practical and do the smart thing and make sure that you're paying your bills and all of that. And yes, of course, you have to learn how to pay your bills. But where are we taught the courage muscle? Where are we taught the obsession muscle? Where are we taught to you've got this dream that is noble and worthy? Where are we taught to actually follow through on it and at least do something about it? So over the years, it's taken me a long time, and the goal with this video is to try to help it not take as long for you. Over the years, I used to judge myself for wanting something and just thinking about it constantly. And sometimes those ideas lead to long-term projects. I look at my YouTube channel. My main channel, it's been 13 years. 13 years. 13,000 videos, something like that. Not all of them are public. How? Well, it's because I'm obsessed. I want to bring more value. I want to create more content. I want to impact more entrepreneurs. It's how do you stay consistent on something? Because I want to do it, because I'm obsessed about it, because I feel like it's going to matter. Even at the beginning, when I had 25 subscribers in my first year and 7,000 subscribers after 5 years, like, how do you keep going? Well, I was obsessed with trying to make content that I thought would help some people. And that's been a long-term obsession. There's some that are a lot shorter term. I remember I was writing my book, Your One Word, also Built to Serve. Both of my books were flowing through me. And there was every reason why I shouldn't do it. Your One Word, I finished writing the book on my cruise. I was on vacation with my wife, and we were enjoying our vacation, and it was flowing through me. It was like, I need to do this. And so while she slept, I wrote my book. And while she went to a show or did something at the spa, I finished writing the book. We still did the excursions and saw the cities together, but the second part of the cruise, I was just in, it was flowing through me. I have to get this thing done. Otherwise, I know I'm going to regret it. For Built to Serve, I wrote it when I was on my tour in 2019, and I did not have time to write a book. I did not have time. I mean, I was behind on everything. We're traveling every 4 days to a new city. I'm presenting. I did not have time to do this. I did not have time. And yet it was flowing through me, and like, I'm obsessed. I have to get this done. I have to get this done. And with experience and age and time, I've learned to lean in on those things instead of judge them. Where typically what happens is you come up with a great idea, you think it's great, like, it has a lot of potential, and then you immediately judge it to say, well, I can't do that. I'm not worthy. I'm not good enough. I don't have the skills. I don't have the money. Why am I still spending all this time on thinking about some idea that I could never do? We instantly judge it. And maybe you do a little bit of work on it. You start trying, and you taste and you test and you explore a little bit. And then what happens? If you don't get immediate results, you wake up the next day or the next week or the next month and say, see, I knew you couldn't do it. You're crazy. Why would you think you could do this? And instantly we talk ourselves down from it. And what I've learned to try to do, and I'm still working on it, is to listen to that intuition and listen to that gut. And it's right, and it's noble, and great ideas flow through you, and stop judging them. And so the process I use is, one, that great ideas flow through me. So just believe the great ideas flow through you. This is how you eliminate the overthinking and your brain getting in the way. You come with a great idea, your brain gets in the way. How do you get out of that? Great ideas flow through you. Just trust a great idea. The fact that it came to you, as long as you're in a positive, optimistic energy, serving state. If you're feeling jealous or rage, or, if somebody cuts you off in line, I'm in my car right now, we're parked, but if somebody cuts you off when you're upset, maybe the idea that comes to you is not a great idea. But if you're feeling positive and encouraged and optimistic and serving and want to help, and an idea comes to you, trust the great ideas flow through you. Just tell yourself, great ideas flow through me. And that at least gives me the courage to stop overthinking and start doing something. Step number 2 is just get started. Start. I call it the 2% difference. What's the first 2%? We waste our best energy on trying to plan out 100% of where this company or idea, business is going to grow. That's not the way to do it. You'll never plan it out 100%. You have no idea what's going to happen with this thing. And so instead of spending your best energy, this is the problem. You spend your best energy. Oh, it could be like this. We could do that. Oh, here's how it could work out. Your energy, where you feel confident and bold, you spend your best energy on research and planning instead of doing something. And research and planning are important, but it can't be the first step, because you're, again, wasting your best energy. You wake up the next day, you feel like, oh, I can't do this. So instead, your best energy, the first step, needs to be the first 2%. You're doing something. You're calling somebody. You're booking something. You're creating something. When I had an idea to start a podcast, I messaged my friend Mark and said, we're going to start a podcast. And he said, when? Tonight. What do you mean when? Tonight. When I'm back from my tour in a month and a half? No, we're starting it tonight. But we don't have the gear. What are we going to talk about? And we'll figure it out. We're going to drive to my Airbnb, and we're going to launch our podcast together tonight. It has to happen tonight, or it's not going to happen. Right? That becomes the process. Super important. And step number 3 is just expect to suck at the start. Expect to suck at the start. We expect to be great for whatever reason at the beginning of when we're doing our thing, right? We expect to be great. Don't expect to be great. Expect to suck. Expect the first thing to be terrible, for it not to work out. Cheers. It's not going to work out. Not as you plan. Not at the beginning. You don't get on a bike and just ride it. You don't make a video and just crush it, right? It doesn't mean that you suck as a person. You just don't have the skill set yet. And by practicing and trying and tasting and testing, you'll get a little bit better. And when you start something and you expect to be great and then you're not great, you quit. But when you start something and you expect it to be terrible, then anything above terrible is progress, is momentum, is a win, and celebrate that. Celebrate the fact that you took a step. Celebrate the fact that you recorded a video. Celebrate the fact that you wrote the first page in your book. Celebrate the fact that you launched your first episode of a podcast. Even though you don't know what questions to talk about, what questions to ask, the formatting, all of that stuff, it doesn't matter. You started. Momentum. You celebrate the momentum and expect the results to suck at the beginning. And if you keep going, you'll learn the skill to get better at the thing. So it's okay to be obsessed. It's okay. There's a great idea inside you that you know you want to work on, that you know you need to do. Be obsessed on it. Start small. Create something right now. Apply the 2% difference. Trust that great ideas flow through you. Expect to suck at the beginning. And make it. Because otherwise, you'll look back on your life at this moment and say, I could have done something back then, and I wish I had.
Also, to make sure you're actually taking action after watching this video, I've designed a special free worksheet just for this video. The worksheet will highlight all of the lessons learned in this video, as well as pull out our 3 favorite learnings and quotes that will inspire you to actually do something. The worksheet will also give you space to write down what your key takeaways are and your specific plan of action to make sure you're getting results. If you want the worksheet designed specifically for this video, absolutely for free, there's a link in the description below. Go click on it and start building the momentum in your life and your business. I'll see you there.
Guys, I want to share with you Oprah Winfrey's 7th rule for success, and that is we're all seeking the same thing. And this is one that we forget when we're caught up in our own lives and we're trying to get what it is we're looking for. We have to remember and step back and say to ourselves, we're all seeking the same thing. We all want to be the highest and truest expression of our human nature. And we're trying to figure this thing out. We're trying to figure out how to do it. It's very difficult. But what's helped Oprah Winfrey and many greats out there is that they stay focused on the fact that we're all the same. And that's why they've been so successful, because whatever it is she's sharing, what's worked for her, it's common to everyone. For myself, I am so passionate about helping people understand, and myself, the power of our minds, because that's the one thing that brings us all together. It's the one common denominator. So we all share that. Have a great day, everybody.
Begin. You know, I hear that a lot. Like, where do I start? I would say there is huge power in beginning, and there's huge power in starting. It's almost like the universe begins to support you when you take that first step.
Yes.
I would say believe in you when no one else believes in you until the whole world believes in you. I think the reason why we even have the question of where do I begin is from fear. We're paralyzed. So it's start to believe in yourself and start to read books and realize all the great heroes were anonymous for 25 or 30 years before the world celebrated them. I would also say genius is less about genetics and more about your habits. So, you know, start with the philosophy of beginning and starting. Start to believe in yourself. Understand that you're going to be laughed at. You're going to be misunderstood. And every great hero is misunderstood at the beginning. But then install the right habits. And this is where the methodology does follow the philosophy.
Yeah.
Once you get the philosophy, which is just the truth, what do you want your life to stand for? You know, what's most important to you? What are your big five for the rest of your life? What are the key values and beliefs you want to live by? Once you get the philosophy calibrated and you don't follow the world's philosophy, you have the bravery and wisdom to trust what feels right to you. Then start installing the habits that science have proven to work. And for me, it's been the 5 a.m. club is very powerful, the 5 great hours rule, the second wind workout, which is basically, if you believe exercise is valuable, why would you only do it once a day? The micro bravery, a great pre-sleep workout, the weekly design system, etc.
Need motivation?
Watch a top 10 with Believe Nation.
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and I make these videos because you are probably the most ambitious person in your circle, but you know you're capable of more. And you get that push by surrounding yourself with the best. So today, let's learn from one of the best, Robin Sharma, and my take on his top 10 rules of success. Enjoy. Rule number 2, practice being excellent.
It's easier to behave yourself into a new way of thinking than think yourself into a new way of acting.
So act first, and then you'll start to think and believe it, as opposed to think and believe and then start acting.
Practice being spectacular long enough that unspectacularity has no ability to enter your orbit. Right? I mean, how do the great athletes become great? You know this, you're an athlete.
Practicing nonstop.
It's just practicing nonstop, and the behavior researchers call it automaticity. Right? You practice, people go, well, how do I get discipline? Well, discipline is a muscle. You are someone's undisciplined, and then you get out of the bed and you get up early, or you make your bed, or you do 25 push-ups or whatever, and you do it and you do it and you do it. And through the power of neuroplasticity, the malleability of the human brain, it's almost like a metaphor is for anyone who wants to make a change and who says, I can't do it. Well, your can't do it is the reason why you're not doing it. Because the can't do it is your weaker self versus your heroic self. So it's almost like a metaphor. You wake up in the morning, you know, and you want to do something. Let's say it's to be a better, more focused, better performer, because an addiction and distraction is the death of your creative production. So it's almost like a wide open mountain meadow. And the first time you practice turning off your phone and practicing what I call in the Everyday Hero Manifesto, the 5 great hours rule. Forget working more than 5 great hours a day. 5 sweaty, intense hours. So say you want to practice that. It's almost like you're walking in a mountain meadow, and it's a pure mountain meadow. You do it after a few weeks. Now the meadow becomes a trail because you've practiced it. Eventually the trail becomes a road, and you keep on practicing it, and eventually the road becomes a highway. And if you keep on practicing it, the highway becomes a super highway. And then if you look at the neurobiology, you've got this circuit, and around it is starts to form a fatty tissue called myelin. And some people believe, some neuroscientists believe, that myelin is the secret of genius. That's why Wayne Gretzky could send the puck to where it was going versus where it was. That's why Steve Jobs could see around corners, and he was, this favorite word I love, prescient. He could see where everything was going before anyone else could. It's not because these people are cut from a different cloth. It's because they run different protocols, think different thoughts, and they do different things. And what I'd say to wrap that up is, to have the results only 5% of the population has, we've got to be willing to be brave enough and faithful enough to do what 95% of the population are unwilling to do.
Rule number 3, improve yourself every day.
There's such power in personal improvement. I saw a comment section of an online newspaper, and someone was mocking the idea of self-improvement, but Michelangelo's David in Florence, Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata, Jonas Salk's Vaccine, the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel, Da Vinci's Mona Lisa, the Taj Mahal. Those were all examples of self-improvement. Our civilization has got to where it's at right now through the progress of people who improve themselves by reaching deep within themselves and saying, I am more than I currently am, and I have a vision, and I will materialize it when it's easy, when it's hard, when it's dark, when there's sunshine, when I'm doubtful, when I'm confident. So the second word representing the second piece of advice I'd give if I was dying, let's say, would be grow. Use each day as a platform to build your knowledge base so you can deliver more value. Use each day to grow in your self-awareness. Use each day to grow your muscles and your physicality. Use each day to read and pray and meditate and journal so you grow into and glorify your greatness.
Rule number 4, keep your promises.
Being meticulous, if not impeccable, around promise keeping is a great way to increase your self-discipline and your willpower and your character and your spirituality. If you say to someone you will call them next week to take them for lunch, do it. You say to someone you're reading an amazing new book, you've heard about it, it's called the Everyday Hero Manifesto, or any book, of course. And you say you'll send it to them because you love it so much, do it. And as you become meticulous and outright impeccable with keeping your promises, you get to a place where you simply cannot not follow through on your promises. And it builds such credibility in other people's eyes, but it really gives you this iron will. Even if you say you're going to do a workout, so your self-promises, follow through on those. The more you follow through on self-promises, the stronger your willpower gets. Remember, it's like a muscle. The more you use it, the more you exercise it, the stronger it will become.
Also, to make sure you're actually taking action after watching this video, I've designed a special free worksheet just for this video. The worksheet will highlight all of the lessons learned in this video, as well as pull out our 3 favorite learnings and quotes that will inspire you to actually do something. The worksheet will also give you space to write down what your key takeaways are and your specific plan of action to make sure you're getting results. If you want the worksheet designed specifically for this video, absolutely for free, there's a link in the description below. Go click on it and start building the momentum in your life and your business. I'll see you there. Rule number 5, listen to your heart.
I believe there are actually 3 other interior empires that complete the personal heroism equation. Mindset is important, absolutely, because that's your psychology. Your daily behavior reflects your deepest beliefs. Unless you upgrade your psychology, then your behavior will always be limited. And no question, positive thinking is important. But there's a chapter in the book called the Big Lie of Positive Thinking.
Yes.
I can get into that. But
Yes.
so your mindset's important. Having said that, there are 3 other interior empires. The second is your heart set. Now, a lot of people, I know so many entrepreneurs and industry titans and professional sports superstars follow your work. This could sound like
a little flaky and weak. Actually, it's incredibly powerful to purify your heart set, because your mindset is your psychology. Your heart set is your emotionality.
Yeah.
We are, as human beings, we have emotions. It was a wide open heart that allowed Beethoven to do the Moonlight Sonata. It was a wide open heart that allowed Shakespeare to do his work, or Hedy Lamarr to invent. If you look at the most successful, even industry titans, these people are being driven by a compelling cause. Steve Jobs did what he did, not because he cared about money. Steve Jobs did what he did because he was an artist who wanted to bring great beauty to the world. I heard an interview yesterday, tributes after his death, from people who knew him. And they said he was, yes, he would get angry because he was so invested in his mighty mission in making the world a better place.
He was almost evangelical.
He was
about his
almost
cause.
evangelical.
Yeah.
There was one thing I found this so fascinating. He called one of his designers 2 a.m. when they were working on the iPhone. Designer wakes up, yes, Steve. He says, Steve Jobs says, well, you know, in the back of the iPhone, there's 3 screws. Designer says, but that's inside. No one's ever going to see those. Don't worry, Steve. Steve Jobs says, yes, but we know those 3 screws are there, and 2 screws are going to be much better. Fix it. So heart set is our higher level emotions like gratitude, awe, and wonder. And yet here is the key point. Our heart set also is all the suppressed emotions that we pick up as we go through life. Carl Jung called it the shadow side. Sigmund Freud said all of the suppressed emotions that we do not feel, like guilt, anger, shame, disappointment, frustration, that we pick up as we go through life. If those are not dealt with, they come back in ugly ways. And so,
and they're suppressants to your genius.
Well, that is the absolute key, because if our society doesn't welcome us to work through those. So what it creates is, in the book, I call it a field of hurt. And so you can go to all the productivity courses, you can read all the business books, you can learn exactly what to do about mindset, but you're never going to get to world class or greatness, because there will always be a block between who you are and who you truly are because of all of those suppressed emotions. Once you learn how to release them, you get intimate with your inner heroism. Your creativity soars, your productivity soars. You actually open your heart to love. Great products are made of love. Great teams are built of love. Great movements are launched from love. Then there's mindset, there's heart set, there's health set, and then there's soul set. Soul set is your spirituality. I'm not necessarily talking about religion, but once you turn down the loud voices of your ego, we can talk about the tools to do it, and you start to hear the silent whispers of your inner hero, you start living the truth. And when you do that consistently, you become the most powerful person in every room that you're in. And you don't need to worry about branding, because your character and your energy and your love is the messenger for every single thing you do.
Rule number 6, own your truth.
There are only 2 reasons why we are alive. And I think if we strip away the accessories and the trinkets that the world sells to us as the metrics of success, like how many social media likes do you have? How much money do you have? How much fame? In the book, I say JPF is always more valuable than FFA. Joy, peace, and freedom is 1,000,000 times more valuable than fame, fortune, and applause. And ask anyone who has fame, fortune, and applause what they would be willing to give for joy, peace, and freedom. So we get to live. The great thing about being human is we get to live as we wish, and I'm in no position to judge how anyone's living. Personally, I believe when we get to the last hour of our last day and we strip away all the things so many people are chasing, I deeply believe only 2 things will matter. Number 1, who did you become? As compared to our promise, how much of it did we materialize through the work we're talking about? And number 2, how many people did we help?
Yeah.
I mean, to me, it's like, and they're connected, because the more you own your truth and move through the layers of fear, doubt, disbelief into your most creative, productive, powerful, loving, decent, noble self, the more you will start to see yourself as an instrument of service to the world. I think that's our fundamental nature. It's to give.
Rule number 7, leave your comfort zone.
Leave the safe harbor of the known because it's the most dangerous place to be. Hug your monsters, embrace your dragons. You will realize you have been limiting your life based on a series of illusions that were taught to you and programmed into you and that were brainwashed and heart-washed against your genius. Invent. Go blue ocean versus stay in the safe harbor of the known. Ask yourself, what product, service, magic can I bring to the marketplace that no one else is daring to do? Don't copy, create, invent, and invent your life. Once you are at a place where you know all the answers to your biggest questions, tear it all down. Reinvent yourself, move to a new country, start reading new books, try a new business, become a new person. Invent is what I would say. Never stop improving. That acronym I've been teaching, NSI, never stop improving. Maintain that white belt mentality. The thing about a master is she never thinks she's a master. She always operates like a beginner. Finally, the fifth word I would offer to you with great love, respect, and faith in your brilliance.
Rule number 8, choose to do difficult things.
It is so powerful to be in the business of doing hard things. What makes a leader? What's an entrepreneur? It's someone who literally understands that you get paid to find solutions to difficult things. In your life as a human being outside of business, choose difficult things. Choose the longer run. Choose the harder workout. Read the difficult book. Have the hard conversation. Vote for the challenging project that no one else in your industry will do. And that is a great way to develop willpower, because as you move through the project towards completion, it draws hidden forces and strengths that you did not know you had out to see the light of day, and you get to know how powerful you are.
Rule number 9, stop being busy.
I would say an addiction to distraction is the death of your creative production when it comes to productivity. In the Everyday Hair Manifesto, there's a revolutionary rule called the 5 great hours rule. So you don't need to work for 7 hours a day. I do not subscribe to hustle and grind. I don't work for more than a few hours a day. I work 4 hours every week. I take 4 months plus off every single year. How I do it is in the book, including the weekly design system. When I work, I'm away from distraction. There's a difference between real work and fake. That's right. There's a difference between real work and fake work. Let us not confuse busy with productivity. That's right. Let us not confuse movement with impact. So I think that's really important. And we can get into the Menlo Park and the type of total focus structures. But you talked about family, Ed. And I believe the greatest gift we can give another human being is the gift of our presence. And if you look at the greatest heroes and the greatest leaders, they had an ability 100% to be there. And the very fact you said it means you do practice it. And I can tell everyone watching right now, you have so much presence. And I'm not talking about charisma, which you have. I'm talking about you are here in a world where a lot of people are cyber zombies and, you know, just not present. So I think you can change the world and live a world-class life, or you can play with your phone all day. You can't do both. And we could get into the science of emotional residue every single time you check a notification. Every single time you like something.
And rule number 10, the last one before some very special bonus clips, is live a life of service.
Serve. It's the formula for happiness. Find a cause that's larger than yourself and donate the remainder of your life to it. Serve. Meet someone on the street, try to leave them better than you found them. Serve in your business life. Be a servant leader, servant hero. Ask yourself, how can I deliver magic and value to them? Serve your family. If you have children, grow your children, develop your children, inspire your children, your significant other, help that person become the person that they're meant to be. Serve the world in your own unique way. That would be my advice to you if I were dying.
Morning, guys. One of the things that's helped me so much, and I really hope this helps you in my path to infinite mind wealth and living, laughing, and loving it, and I do. And so I laugh at this now. See, one of the things we have to remember is that whatever we are, whatever we're seeking in others, like if we're seeking some sort of change, we might really want our friends, our spouse, our coworkers, whatever it is, we want that change in them. Sometimes we might get frustrated. Sometimes we might have negative thoughts towards them. But we have to realize that that negative thought that we put out towards others is really who we are right now. And I laugh at myself because I make mistakes. I fail at this all the time. But every day I try to control my mind, because that which we are seeking to change in others is really a change we're seeking within ourselves. So it all starts with what we are, and we have to work on ourselves every day. So whatever you are is what you will share with everyone else. Have a great day, everyone.
One, people should be investing in the beginning and just in themselves. Every chance you get to go to something that could possibly help you, if it has a 1% chance of even adding to the value you have spend the money. Don't sit on money. Money's useless. So if you have $5,000 left in your account, I would spend the whole $5,000 on yourself. When you spend money on yourself, you're going to start getting better at whatever you're doing. If you just keep doing it, if you keep spending it, just because you spent it once and it didn't work, go do it again. And then again, and then again. That has been one thing in my life. Like if you ask me, hey, what's one thing? I always invest in me first. Not the business.
Not the business.
Not the real estate, me. My condition. How am I doing? Am I around the right people? Am I listening? Like, I don't care what it is, dinner, lunch, charities. I just go to anything where I think there's other people doing well. Like, I just want to hear somebody say something that just inspires me.
Need motivation?
Watch a top 10 with Believe Nation.
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and I make these videos because you are probably the most ambitious person in your circle, but you know you're capable of more, and you get that push by surrounding yourself with the best. So today, let's learn from one of the best, Grant Cardone, and my take on his top 10 rules of success. Enjoy. Rule number 2, dream big.
The 10X rule is based on, look, the goals people are setting are too small. I want to get a good job. I want to get married. I want to be happy. The goals are wrong. And I hate to tell somebody their goals are wrong, but I don't know that your goals are wrong. I know that my goals have always been too small. Everything I have done in my life has not been, I have underestimated what I could do. Every time I've gotten to where I was like, dang, dude, that wasn't even that hard. Like, it wasn't even that difficult. And it got easier as I got rid of the people that said I couldn't do it. Mostly, it wasn't really people saying I couldn't do it. It was mostly people saying, dude, but why do you need to? They were questioning why I need to, right? So if your kid decides, man, he don't want to be an astronaut. He's like, I don't want to be an astronaut, dude. I want to be the guy that creates the company that sends millions of people to another planet. See, he's like, why would I want to be the pilot, dude? He's just another worker. I want to be the Elon Musk that figured it out, right? So, and you'll be like, man, just be happy to be an astronaut, right? But he's got a bigger dream, and we should all. That's the first thing I would tell people. Look, whatever you think your dream is, one, you got to add money. You got to. People are having goals and dreams without money. There's all these quotes on the internet. A goal without a date is merely a wish that will never happen. Whatever. Dude, a goal without money attached to it, okay, is something that will never be accomplished, because there is no goal on this planet that doesn't require money, including happy. To be happy, you need money. And your audience is, I'd love to see their comments. Like, you cannot be happy without money. The only way you can be happy and broke is to be insane.
Yeah.
Because only an insane person would say, yeah, dude, we're all good. I don't know where food's coming from tonight, but I'm happy. That means, well, I don't know where how you're paying for your drugs. Because you can't be happy knowing I can't pay for the next meal. It's just, it's mentally impossible.
Rule number 3, forget about the past.
I used to listen to guys that were millionaires. And they were like, when I look back now, I'm like, oh, they were all like, don't get bigger. Bigger's not better. Fly under the radar. You know, what matters is how much you make, how much you net, how much you keep, save your money, everything. All those guys that are worth 2 and 3 and 4 million, even some guys that are worth 5 and 10, dude, they're all about contraction.
That's right.
They're trying to save, conserve what they have. Because when you start talking to these other dudes, I'm not talking about myself now. When I get around guys that are worth 600 million, 800, 4 billion, they never talk about that. Dude, they think my money's chump money. They're like, dude, that's not money right there. Dude, look, quit looking at your notes. Okay, what do you want to do here?
It's in my notes.
No, but it's in you. Okay? What do you want? What does Tommy need to do now? Tommy's making 400 grand, worried about somebody that's no good. Okay? Where does Tommy need to go? Screw the mechanics.
Okay.
Where you been? Screw where you been.
Okay.
Dude, where are you in the right vehicle? You have to change. Okay, where you been means nothing. None of this. The chick that you hired in New Orleans, what you did last year, dude, none of it matters.
Well,
where are you going to go?
No,
No, you just want to skip now, dude. You just want to drop the past. It doesn't matter, okay? So my goal for you, I don't know if it's your goal, but I'm hearing you say some of this, is let's just go to number 1 in your market. It's easy to do.
Rule number 4, don't take shortcuts.
Sketchy people can't see everything. You know, I've learned this in my own life and with other people. Like, people that take shortcuts can't see very well. And like you can see everything I'm doing. You see the e-commerce, you see the traditional, you see the sales calls that we make, you see what I'm doing on social, you see the real estate plays, you see everything I'm doing. So another person could study everything that I'm doing and not see everything I'm doing because they're sketchy.
And they're like stuck right here.
They're criminals. They're taking shortcuts and they're looking for shortcuts and all they see is shortcuts. They can't see everything. So the more honest a person is, the more they can see. And the less honest a person is, the less they can see. It's why a thief, robs a house and steals less than he could have made just servicing the same exact house.
Right.
The guy would have given more money to like take care of him if he could see. Instead, he saw a watch and took the watch.
Also, to make sure you're actually taking action after watching this video, I've designed a special free worksheet just for this video. The worksheet will highlight all of the lessons learned in this video, as well as pull out our 3 favorite learnings and quotes that will inspire you to actually do something. The worksheet will also give you space to write down what your key takeaways are and your specific plan of action to make sure you're getting results. If you want the worksheet designed specifically for this video, absolutely for free, there's a link in the description below. Go click on it and start building the momentum in your life and your business. I'll see you there. Rule number 5, love the things you hate.
I say this all the time, like if you learn to love the thing you hate, you might find a big gift in it. And for me, I didn't like sales. I hated it. I had tried selling when I was 17 years old, lost the job. 18, I tried again part-time during the summer, lost the job. 19 years old, lost the job. I had had 5 experiences in sales and hated every one of them. All different industries. I just kept moving industries thinking, okay, it'll be different. This will be easy to sell. I hated sales. I hated talking to people. I particularly hated the beginning, the rapport building. You know, I'm not good at breaking ice. Like Ryan Secco, he can talk to anybody. I can't do that. I can't go into a room. I can speak to 35,000 people, but I can't go into a room and start warming it up. It's just, I'm uncomfortable. So the point I'm trying to make is when I was 25, the only job I could get was a sales job. And I said, hey, you got to decide that you're going to get good at this, even if you hate it. Yeah. Because you can't lose another job. It would have been my 6th firing. And I'm like, I cannot lose another job. I did, by the way, get fired from that place. But they never got rid of me because I kept selling stuff. Yeah. So every time they'd fire me, I'd go back and sell something. They'd be like, okay, you can stay another day until the next time you mess up something. So, you know, I went from hating sales to committing to it to becoming now known as like one of the greatest living salespeople on the planet.
Yeah.
So in the things you hate,
Yeah.
like where does the hate come from? Like the things that you hate, the things that just grind you out, like just bug you, there's probably, if you just stay with it and look, just move to the side a little bit and look behind it, there might be some great gifts.
Rule number 6, think like an entrepreneur.
The problem was I do what a lot of entrepreneurs do. The mistake a lot of entrepreneurs make is, number one, they never look up the definition entrepreneur. An entrepreneur means someone who organizes a business or businesses and invests money, takes greater than normal risk with money in order to expand or organize those businesses. I wasn't spending money on my business. Like all I was doing was knocking on doors. It was just pure effort. I wasn't spending money. Like I wouldn't spend real money until I was 50 years old, about 10 years ago, when a guy said, bro, you're not a business. And I said, what? And I could feel this. Yeah, I was a hustler. I was a grinder, but I wasn't a business. And I could feel it, you know. Yeah, I was a consultant. I was making some money, like in my 30s and 40s. I made a lot of money. What other people would call a lot of money.
Yeah.
But I was not a business. You know what I mean? I was just.
What do you mean by that?
Well, I was just hustling. Just because you're hustling. Everything was a transaction.
Yeah.
Everything was a transaction to get money, pay the taxes, have a little bit of money left over. Everything was a transaction.
Yeah.
And this guy's like, well, you know, you're not a business. And I was like, I know, man, I know. Don't tell anybody. I know that, okay? Like, I knew it. And because to me, a business is I can walk away from it, it'll still operate. I was a guy. I was no different than when I was 30, just pounding doors. And which was good. And I think a lot of people you don't need to skip that spot either. Because once I put the two together, okay, I can pound the door. I can learn e-commerce. I can be a one product sale. I can sell to companies. Like today, we'll sell a product to a company for $80,000 on a 3 to 5 year contract, $80,000 a year. Yeah, wow. And I'll switch immediately and sell an $8 product online, or I'll give something away for free, to speaking to 4,000 people today in hopes that I can meet, maybe 40 of them that I can have a partnership and a collaboration with in the future.
Rule number 7, don't waste time.
To have life balance, you got to have money. This is the taboo thing to say. It's never going to be on TV. Nobody likes. You got to have money. Nobody will ever says this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I do this. I do that. I have blah. Dude, you got to have money. You can't. What do I mean by that? Like, okay, well, create the life you want.
Yeah.
Quit saving money. Quit buying watches and H belts. I don't have an Hermes belt. I didn't even know how to pronounce Hermes. I'm like, well, who would spend $700-800 on a belt? I could buy $3,000 real estate with a $700 belt, right? And who am I trying to impress anyway? What I need a trainer to come to me. So you buy your Hermes belt, I'm gonna buy a trainer to come to me. I don't want to go to him. Okay, time is money. It's not money is time. It's time is money. So why am I going to get in a car and drive to the trainer? Here, I'll give you another $200. You come to me. Okay, you come to me. I walk down there. I do my workout. Boom, I'm done. While he's still driving 40 minutes, and I'm already taking a shower and doing a business deal. So you got to figure out the things in your life. When I went from, okay, I'm never going to work for below my pay grade anymore. This was a big shift for me. I like gardening. I like landscape stuff, right? When I got rid of a yard, I was like, that probably made me $10 million. I loved it. I spent too much time doing it. It was costing me money. It was below my pay grade. You see what I'm saying? What am I doing? What am I doing? Because it's therapeutic. Well, good, man. Not 2 hours of it. Therapeutics costing you millions of dollars because you're out there playing with stuff. That made me feel good and everything, but there's got to be a faster, better way to do that, to get that sensation.
Rule number 8, stop compromising your future.
It's the question that everybody asks. Yeah. How do you do it all, dude? Yeah. What you do, if you want to do it all, quit compromising on what it takes to do it all. And the thing that we confront at my house is money. And this is the thing that most people are not confronting. They're not confronting money. What they're doing is they do budgets. We have enough money to do this. I don't do a budget. What I do is, what do I want? How much money does it take? And then I go create the money. You know, this is what we did thousands of years ago when you hunted. If you were hungry, you're like, I'm hungry. What do we want to eat? Well, whatever. What can we eat? What can we kill? What can we go? And my job back then was to go out and not come home, dude, until like, I didn't have anybody to blame. You could blame Brexit. You can blame everybody you want to blame. But if your kids need to eat, right? So back then it was like, get food. Now it's like, people are like, I'm just going to take whatever they give me. And I'm going to make sense of it. As opposed to like, what life do I want? I need a nanny, okay? I don't want my kids to go to school. I went to school. I went there, I sat with the other little numbnut loser kids that I was. I was there to distract every child in the room, okay? I had no interest in the class. My job was to make sure he didn't learn anything, and that you and I had fun, and that the teacher went home and had the worst day of her life. I hated school. So I hated every second of it. I don't want to do that to my kids. So what do I need? Oh, I need a nanny. What's a nanny cost? $80,000 a year. Oh, then I got to bring her around with me and feed her. And then I got to put her in a hotel room. So I need another room. So you guys start doing the math on all this. Okay, I don't want to, I got my nanny. I got two kids with us. We want to travel around the world. What's that going to cost? What's it cost to be gone 30 days and be in nice places that are secure, service, a chef? Like, no, none of our parents got us ready for that kind of budget.
Yeah. So it's
what they said was, get a good job. That job will pay £85,000
and make do with what.
And make do with the $85,000. It's the wrong way to do the math, dude. What kind of life do you want? Not what can you make sense of? What kind of life would allow you to be able to do work and life? Oh wow, man! You know what? If I'm gonna travel, I need a plane, dude. Then you got a new calculation to do. Then I need pilots. Then I need a place to keep the plane. Then I need insurance. And all of a sudden the whole thing gets really complicated and you're like, damn, I need some money. Now you start picking what would produce enough money. You start thinking creatively. Once you commit, you start thinking creatively. Again, look, I started with nothing. For me to be doing what I'm doing today is because I'm committed to figuring out, I'm as committed to this as the drug addict is committed to the heroin. And he has no money. But he has no money. His reputation sucks. He owes every drug dealer in town, and he'll still get his fix. He'll still figure out how to get his deal.
Rule number 9, focus on making money.
This is insanity that you're being told don't monetize your business. If you have a good business, have a good service, have a good product, sell it. You know, but so many guys they're trying these little kid gimmicks. You know, it's fine if my kids flip shoes on eBay. If you're an adult, man, you got to get beyond flipping sneakers on eBay. You need to build a business. Otherwise, don't call yourself an entrepreneur, because that's not what an entrepreneur is. An entrepreneur is not flipping on eBay. That's not a business. That's you trying to make $2 on a toy that you bought at a garage sale. It's a different gig. Now, if you can figure out how to scale that, but it sounds to me like you're benefiting eBay more than you're benefiting yourself. eBay is the pimp, and you're basically the prostitute in that machinery, which is no problem with that, right? But you're servicing the machine rather than building your own machine. I want to build a machine. I want to build a machine that lives longer than I do, so that if I get a good partnership with somebody and we cut a deal and they're 90% of the profits in future and I'm 10%, and my kids or my charity get to keep that 10 after I'm dead, man, I'm good to go.
So what's next? Like, got the jet, like what's next, man?
Man, I don't know.
What's 10x for you now?
10x is, how do I do $1 billion a year in income? And then how do I do 10 billion in real estate? How do I have a $10 billion real estate portfolio? Last month we paid $1.4 million out in distribution. Last month we paid 1.4 million in US dollars out to our investors in the real estate.
How do I start competing with these banks? So they're like, you know what? We really don't like all this noise you're making. You're a noisy guy, and we're kind of getting tired of it now. When you get noisy enough, they either buy you and suppress you. You know, that's what Bill Gates did with Apple years ago. The tablet, the original iPhone was a little called, what was the name of that little beast? Anyway, it had a little pen you wrote on it. They buried that project for years. I'll think of it in a second. I'll think of it when the interview's over. Maybe you guys know what it is, okay? Anyway, it's probably 20 years ago. I actually had a company built around this thing, and Bill Gates came in, gave Apple, Steve Jobs a loan, and said, look, I'll lend you this money. You got to bury that product. And they did. So that's what you can do. Or they consume you. They buy you and say, hey, we want you to be part of our... So maybe that's what happens, Nathan. I don't know. Get the audio guy to get a good sticker for the mic.
And rule number 10, the last one before some very special bonus clips, is be spiritual.
Spirituality is the number one most important thing to me in my life. Like before my wife and my kids is my understanding of God.
Yeah.
And my dreams come from that connection and that understanding. And my dreams and my goals are not really financial. It's potential. So when I talk about, you know, people ask me, probably the most painful question I get is, when is enough enough? And I'm like, man, you guys ought to check in with God on that.
Yeah.
Right? Because my potential is what I'm going after. It's not some number. I got a guy asking me about my net worth. I'm like, dude, what it's a stupid question. It's an ego. It's an ego thing, right? Yeah. What I'm interested in is my potential, possibility, discovery, and for me, that potential is the thing that strings me and God, and that potential is my dreams. It's like, what could I do? What's possible? And the other thing is about the blessing. You know, you hear people. I was in Atlanta. I'm like, man, I'm blessed, and everybody's like, oh yeah, praise the Lord. I'm like, yeah, everybody's blessed. Everybody's blessed. I've never met somebody that's not blessed. Most people are not proving it though. They're blessed and not validating God every day.
Wow.
So I have a very, very powerful, very strong, and very clear understanding of my relationship with God, and it is first and foremost with me. Other people won't understand it, right? But I every day, every deal, undoing a deal. Like I've undone deals. Hey guys, this deal is no longer good for me. And that was me at my highest ethical. What do you mean? You got a deal? We got a deal. You signed a contract. That's right. And now we're going to undo this deal. And I'm going to undo it. We're going to talk about it and we're going to figure it out. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Hey, this deal's not good for me. And if it's not good for me, it's not good for my family. It's not good for my future. It's not good for my ability to give to charities. It's not good for you either. So rather than me just walking away, why don't we just rework the deal so that we're both happy and everybody wins? Very difficult thing to do.
But you allow that to be your dominant driver.
Because another person might be bound by that agreement. They're like, no, we have a deal. I have to do what I said I'm going to do because they're bound by some rule that they made some agreement. Hey, if that agreement's no longer good for you, no God would want you to continue. What you'd want to do is communicate, which is harder to do.
Yeah.
You know, so the ability for my wife and I to communicate about anything, even if it's tough and it's, believing in God is more than just believing in God. It takes courage to go out every day and validate it.
Because if you actually believe, you have to do.
And you ought to do well too. And if you have to me in my mind, like, if I have a good, really strong, good working relationship with God, I would be successful at everything. Physically, in my marriage, in business, with my customers, online. I would have good reviews, not bad reviews.
Yeah.
Like, you ought to have the whole package. I don't think God had a partial package. I think it was probably the whole deal. And the other thing is the work thing, like I see a lot of people that believe in God that don't work. They're like, oh yeah, but they're taking 2 and 3 days off. God don't even take that much time off. He takes 1 day off.
Yeah.
And look what he did before he took the day off.